We've hit the halfway point in the OAMPS RFL competition and they're on the way home in the Farrell League. Hello and welcome to another edition of Afl Riverina TV. I'm your host Simon Anderson. Joining me at the desk is John Anstee from the Wagga Tigers and Shane Buchanan from Afl Riverina. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks for having us.
John, we'll start with you. The Tigers 5-3, sitting at 4th spot on the ladder. If you were a teacher handing out a bit of a mid-year report, what would it be for the Wagga Tigers?
Yeah, I guess I'd probably give us about a B+. We had a little bit of a slow start and then a disappointing loss to Turvey, but after that we sort of got together and had a chat about it all and came out against Coolum and sort of put in a pretty good performance, and we're unlucky to get away with the 4 points there. But then after that, yeah, we've won the last 4 games, so we've put a big emphasis on those games and yeah, came out against Mango and sort of showed what we can do and what we're capable of.
Matty Raver's in his first season as a coach. You've had some good wins recently against Mango and Gammain. What's been his focus and sort of what's got you guys travelling pretty well at the moment?
Yeah, probably just his, he's obviously had success in the past and he knows what he needs from the players and what individuals need to do in each position, and sort of given each player different roles and sort of trying to see where everyone suits and getting to know how everyone plays. He sort of brought that element to our game, and yeah, just the last 4 games he sort of sat down with us and said, yeah, this is what we're striving to be. He said, yeah, if we won 3 and lost 1, then we'd be pretty happy. So yeah, 4-0 in the last 4 games we're extremely pleased with. Who's
been the toughest opponent that you've had this year, not only as a tough team, but individual players who you think have shone?
Yeah, probably as the ladder would show halfway through the year, you've got Gully, Coolum and Mango were definitely the tougher opposition, but probably Coolum for us, they have definitely an elite midfield and they win a lot of games through that area of the ground. And then if you have the forwards like Louis Roberts, who was a pretty good runner against us, he would probably be the one that would be the individual that stood out.
You've got the bye this weekend before facing your 9 opposition teams again. What are you looking to improve on in this back end of the year?
Yeah, probably just having a good couple of weeks of hard training in the next couple of weeks to set ourselves up, and yeah, if we can play more consistently throughout the game. We sort of have 5 minutes laps here and there, so yeah, probably consistency throughout the games is where we're trying to strive for.
We'll take a look at this weekend's rounds of the OAMPS RFL and Farrell League. Shane, tell us a little bit about what's happening with Zadie's round this weekend.
Yeah, it's Zadie's round in the Riverina and the Farrell League. Basically, players will be playing in rainbow laces, and there's a fee to pay for the laces to play in, and that's a contribution to the Zadie's Foundation, which is raising awareness for organ and tissue donation. So a great initiative. It's an AFL initiative, basically coming from the top. It's Zadie's round there as well, and we're doing it at a local level as well.
Great to see all the clubs getting involved with that one. We'll start off with the RFL. Firstly, Colin Gully up against Mango player. Gully coming off the back of a win over Griffith, and Mango just absolutely thrashed Turvey.
Yeah, they did, and it's probably match of the season, I think, at this time of year. I mean, really, top 3 positions are up for grabs now, and realistically, I suppose you want the advantage over the opposition, and Colin Gully and Mango will be going for that for this week. Look, both of these clubs are massive rivals. I suppose if we go back when they were playing the Farrell League days, I mean, they consistently played finals against each other, so there'll be no love lost there, I can assure you that. Look, Colin Gully beat Griffith last week, and Mango had a great win against Turvey, as you said. And looking for a winner, it's going to be a flip of the coin. I'm going to go with Colin Gully. The only reason that is probably at home.
You mentioned these 2 sides as 2 of the ones that have been the toughest ones to play. This is going to be an absolute cracker of a game.
Yeah, it'll be a good game. I guess if they can stop the likes of Gordo and BJ down forward kicking a few goals, then yeah, I'm actually going to tip Mango. So it'll be a very close game, I reckon.
Moving on to Leeton and Narrandera. Narrandera unlucky not to get over the top of you guys. They were leading for the majority of the game. And then, got out of jail there. What do you make of this one, Shane?
Yeah, look, Leeton beaten by Coolman last week. I watched Tigers and Narrandera. Narrandera should have won, had a lapse, I think, in the last quarter, about the first 5 or 10 minutes. And yeah, Tigers got a run on and basically, to Narrandera's credit, come back and kick a couple of goals to keep in the game, but couldn't get over the top. So, look, either concentration or fitness may be a challenge there for Narrandera, but going on form, I'd go with Narrandera over Leeton.
What do you reckon of him?
Yeah, Narrandera came out and definitely showed their intent last week, and even though they haven't had the success throughout the year, they're still definitely a very physical and in and under team. And yeah, Leighton were as well. They showed some skill out at their ground. So yeah, I'll probably go Naranda as well.
Ganmain, they're taking on Coolaman. Another good win for the Hoppers over Leeton, and Ganmain fresh off the bye. What do you reckon, Shane?
Yeah, no love lost here between these two teams. I suppose probably the biggest rivalry in local footy against these two teams. So there'll be a massive crowd out of Ganmain there. Probably the biggest crowd of the year, I reckon. With Ganmain, it's a really important game for them. There's no doubt where they're at. Probably slipping up against Wagga Tigers, I suppose, to be beaten would be a deflator. Coming off the bye, I suppose they recess and go into this game with a bit of planning, I suppose, over the 2 weeks. Look, Coolman had a really good win with a depleted team against Leeton, so look, I'll go with Coolman over Ganmain in that particular one.
Coolaman, another one that you said were a pretty tough opponent this year.
Yep, I reckon this game's just definitely won or lost in the midfield. They sort of match up pretty well against each other in there. They've got some stocky blokes that can are really good ball winners, and yeah, it's going to be a flip of the coin, but probably Coolman, I think.
And wrapping up the RFL with Griffith against Turvey Park. Turvey Park's going to want a pretty big turnaround after their weekend's performance.
They will, and probably even Griffith, lost 20 points to Colngully. Fairly good effort, but good efforts aren't good enough. I mean, if you want to play finals, and probably Turvey's form's been a bit up and down, so probably both coaches would be frustrated probably with their teams this year. So it's a 50-50 game, but I think Turvey probably smarting from last week and perhaps should get over Griffith.
What do you make of these two sides?
Yeah, I think if I can remember, Turvey won when they played last time by about 2 points or something. So I think, yeah, after Griffith's pretty strong performance against Gully last week, I think they'll get over by 2 points.
Moving over to the OAMPS Farrell League, the Jets, they're up against North Wagga. Now, the Jets were absolutely thumped by Temora, and North Wagga, they're starting to string some solid wins together, Shane.
Yeah, they are. Jets' form's been up and down, there's no doubt, been influenced by injury. North Wagga had a strong win against CSU, and I think the Sainers should get over the Jets in that one.
East Wagga up against the Bombers. They were pretty humbled by Collie, the Hawks, and then the job gets no easier this week against Mara.
Surprised by the result against East Wagga Collie. I thought that it might have been a 50-50 game. Went for Collie because it was at home. Look, Gav will rebound, no doubt, with the boys at East Wagga and address where they're going wrong. But Mara's probably the form team of the competition at this stage, so I think the Bombers will get over the Hawks in that one.
Temora up against the Rock, a bit of a return to form for Temora after a couple of weeks. They were a bit iffy. Is this one likely to be a repeat of the matchup that these two had earlier in the year?
I think so, yeah. I mean, Temora's a form team, there's no doubt about that. Rock not having the successful year like they normally do. Temora's form outstanding last week. I think in one quarter they kicked 9 or 10 goals in a very wet weekend. So it just shows that when they flex their muscles, they can flex their muscles. So, yeah, like Mara, Temora, they're the form team of the competition.
And then wrapping it up with CSU up against Collie Amberley. Collie, as you mentioned, too good for the Hawks. They can probably build some momentum here.
Yeah, they can. I suppose it'll be interesting to see what Collie Amberley does in regards to injuries and whatever else. Will they rest players for this particular match? Not the greatest attitude to be going into, I know, but CSU struggling the way they are. The time for Collie to probably assess a few injuries and whatever else. Collie's form, they can't afford to let this one slip, and they should have a good win.
Well, an absolute cracking week of footy on the way. Enjoy the week off, John, and good luck for the rest of the season. And Shane, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.